Do you want to know the 3D movie sales skill? Yeah, I'm talking about 3D movies, the stuff that jumps out at you. And you can bring this concept into your sales to close even more, to captivate people, into getting them to see things the way that you want them to see. And it's very similar to how 3D movies require you to do what? Plop on some frames, some glasses in order to see it the right way. And in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to give your customers those frames, those lenses, to see what you're saying in that captivating, alluring way that's going to help them do what? Say yes and do business with you. This is a powerful sales tool and sales skill set that I'm going to be teaching you in this video to help you get your customers seeing your side the right way, the educational way, the non-pushy way, so you can close even more deals. I absolutely love this technique and I cannot wait to share it with you. And before we do, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist. Everything I do here on these videos and in the podcast and my products and services are designed to help you develop a personal sales strategy to smash your income goals. And all these little tips, tricks, and strategies are going to help you do that. So click the bell and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Now back to the 3D movie process of selling. I talked about putting on the glasses. If we think about it, what are glasses? They are lenses, they are frames, right? That allow us to see things in a certain way. When those glasses come off, we see things differently. I wear glasses. When I put them on, I can see things clearly. I pull them off, things are blurry. If I'm at a 3D movie and I put it on, all of a sudden the aliens and the things are coming out at me all crazy like, and then I take them off and it's just boring 2D. So you can give your customer these glasses and there's a technique to do it called framing. Yep. Framing. When you frame things for your customers, it allows them to see things in the proper light that you intend them to. And I want to talk about this in more detail because it is a fundamental part of my closing strategy that's built into my program, the closing strategy, that's using my car park closing formula. And I use framing inside that program in a variety of different places as I talk about transitioning to the next stage of the sale. So when you put this lens on your customer, all of a sudden they're going to see things through the light, the glasses that you gave them. And it's using this technique called framing. So what is framing and how can you use it? Good question, glad you asked. Framing is telling people what you will tell them. I'm going to repeat. Framing is telling someone what you will tell them. It allows them to observe everything that's going to come through the lens that they expect. You're basically putting boundaries. You're setting the stage, so to speak, to say, here's what we're going to do next. This is what you can expect. And you draw the boundaries so now they're viewing it in the right light. Let's give you an example. Imagine hopping off a roof. This is a big shift you can make. We're starting right now, by the way. You hop off a roof and you want to present to the homeowner the findings, the photos and the videos. And you're excited because the shingles are torched, they're damaged, they need a new roof. And the first thing you do is you slide in, you're like, all right, so here's your roof. And as you can see here on this shingle, and the homeowner's just like, it's a shingle, man. I don't know what you're pointing at. I don't care. I don't know roofing. That's how they see it. But when I tell them what I'm going to tell them, I set the stage and I give them the lenses, everything changes like magic, like this. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, I'd like to review the photos I took on your roof. Now I realize I do this stuff every day, and to the average normal human being who isn't a roofing expert, all this stuff kind of looks the same. So what I want to do is explain to you what damage is on a roof, what we look for, why it's covered by insurance, and why most homeowners decide to take action. So first, here is what hail damage or wind damage is, and then I explain. And by the way, what this means to you is, and then I explain. And many homeowners decide to take action on this so that they don't have, and then I explain. I haven't even showed them the photos, but what I have just done is given them those 3D glasses to see this in the light that I want them to see. This transformation to then, now let's take a look at the photos from your roof. Remember when I shared with you what damage is and how it can cause X, Y, and Z, whether it's bruising, whether it's crease shingles, whatever? This is what you might be seeing up there. This is what your roof is, okay? Do you see the damage that I explained on your roof? Now, all of a sudden, it's like they've been given detective glasses to see the roof in the light that you see it. And all of a sudden, we're already primed and ready to view this information. So when you frame or put on the glasses to the homeowner, you do it like this. You set the stage. And again, the simplest way is you tell them what you're going to tell them. All right? I'm going to show you what your roof looks like, but before I do, I want to explain what damage is, why it's covered, and why homeowners take action. So I've framed the pictures before I show them the pictures. All right? So it makes sense to them. Because the average person, you show them the field shingle and they're like, I don't know what the heck that is. The same thing goes when I transition to the contingency agreement, which again is included. I go into the detail in this in my complete closing strategy. If you want some free videos, click up here and check out how to use the contingency agreement as a sales tool or a closing tool. I don't just say, great, we can work with you. Let's slide into the scary paperwork where you're going to sign your life away and there's fine print and double-sided. No, I don't do that. I explain by framing, putting the lens on. Here's what you will see in the contingency. I'm going to tell them what they will see. I'm going to tell them what I'm going to tell them. Hey, this contingency agreement, before we go through it, does 3 things. I explain those 3 things, which you can see in this video, and then I say, any questions so far? They say no or yes, and then I answer the questions, come back. Any questions so far? No. Great, here we go. Then I go through it. But I have given them the lens to see it. If I don't frame things the right way, or if I skip this step, what happens is the homeowner doesn't have the right background to observe and make a decision because all of a sudden they're going to have objections. I don't see the damage when we talk about the photos. That shingle looks fine to me. What the heck am I looking at? But I've already taken those out by framing and given them the lens in which I want them to see my damaged photos. Same thing with the contingency agreement or your retail contract and your bid. Hey, this is what you will be seeing. This is what to expect. This is what the paperwork says. I have now given them the lens to view what it is that I want them to see. This is such a powerful technique to use, not in sales even, in life, in interpersonal relationships. And frankly, you'll see now that I share this with you, I do this in my videos and in my podcast to help teach because it's difficult to bring up a concept without framing, which is why I told you a story about 3D glasses and giving someone the lens to see things. I told you about I basically said, I'm going to tell you about framing by not saying framing, and then I'll teach you framing. This is a great tool to get people to understand concepts. It's not a manipulation. It is an incredible communication and powerful tool that's going to help people not only understand, but get them on your side and seeing things the right way. And now that you know this, you're going to see it everywhere. I'm going to tell you about this and show you what you'll be seeing and then see it. It's the same reason that there's a great book, by the way, called Thinking Fast and Slow by a guy named Daniel Kahneman who studied this stuff, these 2 different ways, what he calls System 1 and System 2, the way humans process information. There's our knee-jerk response that is pure emotion and intuition, and then there's our analytical response, and you've heard me talk about this many times before. But in this book, he talks about priming people. So if I were to show you the word SOP, but before I did, we talked about eating, you might say, oh, that's a typo, it's soup. But if I said, hey, I just need to pop in the shower real quick, and then you see that word SOP, all of a sudden you're going to see soap. Because you've been primed, you've been given the lens of framing the context of how the next set of information or stimulus is going to be interpreted. So now you have the powerful skill set of framing to pump the brakes, tell someone what you are about to show them or explain it, provide context, give them the 3D glasses to see what it is you're going to see, because without it, the world is different, I swear. Now, I taught this in a training to a sales team of 40. The owner is running a company doing $30 million a year. He knows a thing or two about sales. I've actually been on site with them a few years ago in the field training their team. I run this training. The owner gets on a sales appointment. Homeowner does this. My roof's fine. So he wins the inspection, goes up there. He said he went down and did the framing technique that I just taught you to get invited to that kitchen table by showing the photos first, but framing, hey, before I show you this, I want to explain what damage is, what we're seeing, and why homeowners may want to take note. Then he showed them to him. He says, by doing that, I got invited to the kitchen table. We signed a deal. He was training a couple of salespeople, and he couldn't believe that usually that's the rejection. My roof is fine. Not only did he do that, he got invited inside and closed the deal. And he specifically said that framing technique, because he didn't used to do that. He didn't used to frame how to review the damage with the homeowner. He just would jump in. He goes, man, that subtle shift made a huge difference. And now you can start using this right away to close even more. And if you want to do that and learn the whole kit and caboodle of the car park closing formula and everything I do and how I say it for both storm and retail, you can check out my complete closing strategy. There's a link in the description. But now you can start using framing in your very next sales appointment. And remember, the two big places to use this are as follows. Number one, before you show any damage, you always want to frame or give them the lens. Let me explain what I'm going to show you. I want to explain what hail or wind damage or an old roof looks like if it's retail and why many homeowners take action. Set the stage, create the frame, give them the lens, then show them it. Then ask, are you seeing what I described? Yes, you're getting buy-in, okay? And the second is before you transition to your contract or your contingency agreement. Explain what it is, give them the frame and the lens, then go through it. Start using this, make more sales, comment, tell me how it goes. I cannot wait to hear about it. If you want to learn more, click here to get a free copy of my Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video library, and click here to learn how to use that contingency agreement as a sales tool. I'll see you in the next one.